Hello and welcome to Liz Loves to Cook, and today I will be doing the red dumplings recipe. That's the one I promised my sister Vivian, and I'm going to be doing that today. So just take note and try this recipe because my children always ate the whole pan of dumplings, the red dumplings, and really loved it. So this is how I do it. So enjoy. First, what I do is I get the tomato part of the recipe ready, and I use a pan, one of the deeper pans, and I have a spoon ready. And what I use is the small cans of tomato sauce, and I'll put them in the pan. Put them in the pan. And I've decided to do about 6 cans first. And what I do, I dump 6 cans in, 1 can of tomato paste. I cut both ends of the can out, and then I will push the tomato paste in there, and then remove the metal lid. And that makes it easier to get all that in there than using a spoon. And I'll be out of the picture here for a little bit because what I'll be doing is adding 6 cans of the water to the pan. Okay, what I've done is for each of the cans, I added water to the can and then put it in the pan. It's got about that much room left at the top, and that needs room to add the dumplings. So when you add the dumplings, that'll get even smaller. So this mixture here that you have started will be on a little bit above a medium heat. As you're making your dumplings, keep a watch on it. Stir it up so the tomato paste will get all melted up into the tomatoes. And you can add some salt and pepper to this mixture according to taste. And before you put the dumplings in here, it'll be needing to be good and hot and bubbly so that it'll be ready to receive the dumplings and to cook the dumplings. So next what I'm going to do is show you how to actually make the dumplings while this is cooking. Okay? Hello, now we're at the portion of the red dumplings recipe where we're putting the dumplings together. And I have on my table a plastic dough sheet to where I can roll it out. That way it protects the table and it protects your food. I have a cup of milk and 1 egg and break up the egg a little bit. And I have all-purpose flour. And what you do is you literally add all-purpose flour until you can make a dough. Scraping the sides, scraping the bottom after you add a little bit of flour. Now you can use self-rising. It'll be a different texture of dumplings, but I like using all-purpose flour because I like the texture of all-purpose flour type of dumpling. And it gets thicker the more flour you add, and you're needing to get this mixture to the part where you can put your hands in it and actually start forming the dough. And you're watching your mixture as it cooks, just to make sure it doesn't stick, and stir. Now that flour that I just added is starting to make it to where I can't stir it any longer. So I pour it onto the plastic sheet. And right now I'm going to use this moment as a moment to go and stir my tomato mixture. Now I've got all this on the plastic sheet, and I've added a little bit of flour around it because I'm about to be forming the dough, and you put some on your hands, and you fold it into in itself, and it's wet, it's gooey, but you keep flour on the surface, and you're going to get it to where it forms a ball. Folding it in itself adds more flour to the mixture. Keeping flour on your hands. And when it sticks, pull it off, put it back on the flour mixture, add some flour to your surface. Fold it in on itself. Now it's getting to where, so I turn and tuck the dough. You turn it and tuck it, turn it and tuck it. And when you do that and you put a little bit more flour on the surface, that flour gets into the dough. This is only 1 cup of milk, 1 egg, and then you add flour until you can do this. My mama used to get out a paper sack when we had a paper sacks all the time at the grocery store. And she would cut out the sack all the way open, and she would have it flat on the table. And that's how she would easily clean up her surface, is to do this on red dumplings on a paper sack. And that's my memories of watching my mother make red dumplings. And I have here a rolling pin ready. And I put some flour on the surface, move the things out of the way, and when the dough becomes not as sticky, that's when you're ready to start rolling. And I make a somewhat rectangular shape and make it flat. And then it's ready to roll. Now I'm going to stir the tomato mixture. Now I have here the flat dough, and it's ready to roll. You get you a knife, because you're going to need one. And I'll show you why. Got a knife ready. And what you're going to do is take this and roll it all along the edges. You're rolling the dough. This is when Mama always did it. She just rolled the dough. And I stretch it out and make it one big log. So, I got the one big log of dumplings. This is the dough. Now, how do you make the dumplings? Some people like to make them and cut that before you roll it. Some people like to cut it and have flat dumplings. This is the way Mama always did it, and we had, you know, she goes to the end and cuts it. Makes about 1/2 inch all the way across until you're done cutting all the pieces. And of course, you do get different sizes of dumplings. And you keep cutting until it's all done. Look at all the pieces. Now, what you don't want to do is say, okay, it's ready. If your mixture on the stove is not bubbly and has somewhat of a rolling boil, you stir it and then you see the bubbles come up. You stir it and then see how long it takes for the bubbles to come up. If the bubbles don't quickly come up, it's not ready because you'll have a mess. You need to wait until the mixture is bubbly. You know, so, and these are ready to actually put into the tomato mixture. But I have to check my tomato mixture that I made. I did add salt to it. So you'll have to add salt and pepper to taste how you like it. Some people may decide they want to make it hot and put some sort of hot sauce they like in it. But we never did that. We just did tomato dumplings and salt and pepper. So you may want to make your mixture a little less tomatoey to where you have less tomato sauce and more water. You can do that. You're just going to have to play with it and see how you like it. My mom always would say, kind of refer this to as a poor man's supper, you know, but my children had many lunches where we had dumplings, and it was delicious. And again, use self-rising flour if you want to get a different texture, a softer dumpling. I like a little firmer dumpling, so I do all-purpose flour. So, all right, I will check my tomato mixture, and then we'll be putting the dumplings in. My mixture's on a real good rolling boil. When I stir it, it really doesn't, the bubbles do not go away, so it's ready. You know, so as you add, you drop it in, and as you keep dropping it in a different spot, and as you watch, you'll start seeing the dumpling come up when it starts getting done. Don't drop it in the same spot until that dumpling gets done. And you can stir it so that dumpling is not scraping on, it's not sticking to the bottom. And then kind of move them to a side, and then you can put dumplings on this side. Oh, and it's hot. Some in the middle. Now stir it on this side, give the other side a chance to start cooking. And you can then put some on the side I just moved some from that side. And then start stirring from this side, so this side will not be stuck on the bottom. And put some on this side. As you can see, The dumplings are separate. And I've got a few more left. And now they're cooking. And you can give it, the dough has got to get done, so you need to give it a good 15 minutes to be cooking. I did turn I turned it down to medium or a little bit below medium, so it wouldn't be too hard of a rolling boil. But it has to be on a rolling boil so that it is warm, very, very hot, so that it can cook the dumplings. Don't put it in there if it's not in a rolling boil. So let it cook, stir it a little bit, and until you can see that the dumplings are completely done. And I would say about 20 minutes to make sure that it's done. You can turn it on low after that, and then it will be good and cooked, and you can let it cook on a low for a little bit. When you believe the dumplings are done, see, it's ready to stir again when it starts getting really good and bubbly, so you can make sure that the dumplings are not sticking to the bottom. And it really honestly looks like I could have made more dumplings, but this is the basic recipe for it. So you really looks like I could have done a double batch, but I've always done just one batch of it. So I probably have a little too much sauce in here. So you could use 4 cans of sauce to do this amount of dough with water and 1 can of tomato paste. But that's basically how you make it. And smells delicious. Memories of feeding my children red dumplings for lunch. And I actually am enjoying the smell and the smell memories I'm getting from this. So, all right. So that's my red dumplings. While my dumplings are still cooking, I've set my table. I had a friend give me the flowers yesterday, and that was lovely. And I had Chris and Laura, some friends, they sent me the placemats. Shout out to Chris and Laura. Thank you very much. And the tablecloth is just a normal, ordinary tablecloth. Put it in the dryer. I didn't actually do an iron on it. But if you wanted a better finished look with your tablecloths, you could iron it out before you put it on here. And so this is my table that I'll be showing you the red dumplings here in just a moment. So the dumplings are rising to the top, meaning they're just about done. And it's a really quick way to feed your family if you want to feed them red dumplings. So be right back. This is the red dumplings boiling and how they're floating to the top. And that means they're just about done. And I usually scrape the bottom to make sure nothing's scraping on the bottom. That's sticking to the bottom so that it won't burn. I have it a little bit below medium. I haven't actually turned it to low yet. But it usually has a tomatoey skim on the side. Nothing's wrong with that. So, almost done. That is the red dumplings. All done. And I usually serve it on a plate because I like dipping it in a certain kind of sauce, but you can have it just like that. And you can have it just like that. Or what I usually like doing is putting a little bit of ketchup and then cutting into the dumpling, and it's a firm dumpling. And I usually like dipping into it and ketchup. is good. Red dumplings, a really inexpensive way to feed your children. My children grew up with red dumplings. We didn't have it all the time, but we'd have it every now and then and enjoy. So after I showed you the dumplings in the pan, I had it on low for a little bit, and they're done and they're good. So and I made the red dumplings for you, Vivian. I love you, and I know you will enjoy being able to have the red dumplings recipe. I'm sure if anybody in my family has an idea of a recipe that that I'm forgetting that we need to do to show everybody, just send me a message in Facebook, and I will could take everything into consideration. And again, shout out to Chris and Laura for my placemats. Thank you. And the roses are pretty. I had a friend that sent me roses, and these are red dumplings. So enjoy trying to make those in your own way, and have a good Sunday, and have a good, happy, healthy, safe New Year. Thank you. Bye.